Kashmir is famously known as the paradise on earth.
The piece of land has often been referred as the heaven.
Unfortunately, this paradise is witnessing downfall.
This dispute is claiming precious innocent lives and inviting human rights violations.
The Kashmir conflict continues to be unresolved after more than 6 decades, driving the conventional and nuclear arms race between India and Pakistan. A child in conflict-ridden Jammu and Kashmir has been exposed to different kinds of vulnerabilities. They are the worst sufferers of conflict and the prime victims of violence.
Children, they have suffered physically, emotionally, psychologically and intellectually over the last quarter of a century or so in Kashmir.
Children are not feeling very comfortable. They have lost the safety of their homes, the protection of their parents, which has had a deep lasting impact on their psyche.
Kashmir is a state full with orphans and half orphans.
Right now we have got an overall data of roughly around 14,000 orphans.
Half orphans refer to those children whose parents were subjected to enforced disappearances. They cannot be named as orphans since they are still unaware about the whereabouts of their parents.
Papa ji kaçı sar iş bıça ikis bikis tom kara mali sat kat vat içi vana mera papa kaha çara asa mur mon kaç uç vana temis talan çı soruyor su yor komu su yor komu sui a sui paka.
There's a question of disappearances in Kashmir. I mean, we have more than 9,000 people who have disappeared in the last 20 years. And many of them have been parents of children. And those children don't know whether their parents which are officially missing are dead, or they are kept in jails, or they are missing. So I think it's a very unfortunate scenario that as far as children's rights are concerned, there is no mechanism in Jammu and Kashmir to ensure that we protect the child.
Once you are an orphan, you not only suffer physically, naturally, because your nutrition suffers, your immunization status suffers, there is nobody to care for you, and then it has a very adverse impact.
During the 2010 civil agitation, paramilitary CRPF troopers mercilessly beat Samir Ahmed Ra, aged 8 years, outside his house at Batamalu when he was out to buy candies from a nearby shop.
वो घर से खेलने गया था तो उसने बाहर पेयर वाले को देखा था नाशपाती लाने के लिए. वो फिर से वापस आया, उसने पैसे लिए, वो लाए 4 हमें दिए. और
I remember a child, an 8-year-old child, who was trampled upon to death in Batmalu region, and now his own relations, his own class fellows were shell-shocked, and they are the ones who also are prone to suffer from post-traumatic stress disorder.
जब से मतलब समीर का इंसिडेंट हो गया तब से हमने वो मतलब कैरम भी घर में नहीं रखा, क्योंकि हम 4 होते थे, पापा, मैं और भाई 2, तो हमें अब चौथा मतलब समीर के जाने से हमारा घर खत्म हो गया, हमारी तालीम खत्म हो गई, हमारा बचपन खत्म हो गया. हम खाली अब इतना चाहते हैं हमारे साथ इंसाफ हो और कुछ भी नहीं.
उस दिन कॉफी लाने गया था. जब मैं मार्केट के नजदीक पहुंचा तो वहाँ मैंने देखी कि फोर्सेस आ रहे थे वहाँ से। फोर्सेस थोड़ा क्लोज आई मेरी तो वहाँ से एक आवाज़ आई, एक जैसे इसमें होती है बुलेट में जैसी आवाज़ होती है वैसी एक आवाज़ आई और मैंने अपनी आंखें बंद की और जब मैंने अपनी आंखें खोली तो मैं उस टाइम हॉस्पिटल में था और फिर मुझे वहाँ पर 2 सर्जरीज आई। अब मैं अपने उम्र के बच्चों के साथ खेल नहीं सकता, जैसा कि मेरी फेवरेट गेम फुटबॉल थी, अब मैं वो खेल नहीं सकता क्योंकि वहाँ पर डॉक्टर ने पहले ही मना किया कि क्रिकेट, फुटबॉल और ऐसी गेमें, आउटडोर गेम्स आप खेल नहीं सकते।
Children have not only suffered direct injury with bullets, with pellet guns, with pepper gas, with tear gas shells, but they have been witness to all the gory incidents that have occurred in Kashmir.
Children of this lawless land are being arrested regularly, traumatized, and they continue to be the victims of torture.
There are many cases of juvenile arrests and detentions, and which is a day-to-day affair. Although we have been very vocal against it and demanding that the world human rights organizations, Amnesty, United Nations, Asia Watch, even they have come up with reports and details about that. But sadly, their arrests are continuing. I mean, 12-year-olds, 13-year-old boys are being picked up. They're being kept in custody. There is no juvenile system here.
In May 2013, I was coming back from my tuitions. There was protest going on. As I just reached there, CRPF just took me without letting me say any word. They just beat me up. As of cops arrived there, local of police station, they handed me over to them, and I was then lodged into a local police station there and kept there in a lockup along with 10 more guys, 10 more boys. A lot of them were minors as me. We were kept in lockup for 4 days. Although food was provided and blankets, but we were tortured and interrogated full night.
Just a week back, there were juveniles who were arrested and were handcuffed when they were brought in the court. We just got lawyers, litigants got stunned because it is totally in contravention with the Juvenile Justice Act. They were arrested 12 days back and their arrest was shown only 1 day back. They were kept in air cargo, which is known to be a camp of STF, and their arrest was not shown anywhere, nor there was any FIR registered against them, which is totally against the mandate of Juvenile Justice Act. You cannot keep a juvenile in a police lockup. You have to keep him in remand home.
In Kashmir, juveniles are treated as adults in brazen violation of the Juvenile Justice Act and United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child. Information provided by the State Home Department and Right to Information Act reveals that from 1989 to 2013, 707 FIRs had been registered against juveniles. A number of juveniles had been arrested over the years under the Jammu and Kashmir Public Safety Act. Here, children are tried in normal courts. They are put in police lockups and with other criminals. There are no juvenile justice boards, juvenile welfare boards, and child welfare committees are non-functional.
See, when we talk about a juvenile, which I said in the beginning, you cannot treat a juvenile of Jammu Kashmir with the juvenile of rest of India. A juvenile is born in a conflict area and he has to be given special treatment. His mental, psyche, mindset is different. He has seen the worst times.
An unidentified gunman killed a preschool kid, Burhan, on September 19, 2015, when he and his father were walking home in North Kashmir's Sopore town. Burhan, who was in his father's lap, was shot 3 times when bullets were fired at his father. He died in the hospital because of the loss of blood. In October 2015, government forces used flashbang grenades during protests in the old city of Srinagar, and 9-year-old Amir became its victim. Amir received severe burn injuries on his face and arm.
बस और ट्यूशन जो सब रंग दलिफ आई त्रोक पाथर खबर के टायर गैस मैं सब बच्चों तम छाल जो से पाथर बेशनी पर करन कालो जू अगर पर.
A European Union delegation during their visit to the state in 2004-2005 declared Jammu and Kashmir a beautiful prison on earth. Large number of educational buildings are still under military occupation and are surrounded by their camps and bunkers, distracting students and causing a trouble of their daily activities in school. According to a survey, out of the 30 schools randomly selected for the survey across the valley, 79% were at a distance of less than 1 kilometer from the nearest military bunker. In fact, some of the schools share a common border with the camps, while 20% of them are just 2 to 3 kilometers away from the nearest military camp, and 1% is partially occupied by the military or paramilitary troops.
The children of their age in other countries would be very happy saying alphabets like A for apple, B for boy and C for cat. But I think due to conflict in Kashmir, even these small terms have changed for the small children. Children here have devised their own different vocabulary for A for, they say A for army, B for bullet, C for crackdowns and things like that.
When we go to school or market, we see a lot of police and men in uniform, holding guns and ladders. Even when we are in the classrooms, the images continue to haunt us.
Impact of on education has also been very bad because due to the militarization and the presence of camps and security forces, many girl children find it very difficult to go to their schools because if en route there is a security camp or bunkers around, they experience lot of eve teasing and whistling and other kind of stuff that goes around that, because of which these girls start feeling very insecure. They have either to be accompanied by a family member to the school, or sometimes they prefer not to go to the school at all, which is in fact having a bad effect on their education.
The situation here affects our psychology and behavior. We feel sometimes we behave in a manner and afterwards we feel which was not normal. We don't have the joy and thrill of living without scare and fear. It depresses us. We too want to live and enjoy like other children of any other peaceful place.
I often think why we live in this migrant colony, why we are called migrants. It's our land. We are natives of Kashmir, but still we are called migrants. It pains me. I get sometimes disturbed. People say conditions are not normal here. That's why we have to live in this migrant colony. I look forward for the day when everything would be normal here and I no more would be called a migrant and mingle with all other children around without any fear and visit my parents' birthplace or ancestors' house, which I have never seen or visited yet.
On one fateful day of August 5, 2015, two siblings, 14-year-old Shakir Mohammad Reshi, Adil Mohammad Reshi, along with another child, in their village Baba Salina Gandhabal, were playing in a nearby playfield. While playing, they spotted a strange object and started fiddling with it. It exploded, resulting in death of the two siblings.
According to the information which I have obtained through Right to Information Act from the government authorities, the number of children killed due to exploded shells, littered explosives and live ammunition at destroyed in Kashmir from 1990 to 2014 is 50. While as 83 children got injured and 27 handicapped. But according to our information, the figures are high because the data provided by the authorities is not up to the mark. And details regarding many such incidents are missing from the information provided by the authorities.
सो खोत बे पलस पे तम दोप कड़ो अत जिंद्र तम लगे अत दब वारिया यह फोट पता मे पई मे वन दिमागस मज तिहन शक्ल मे ख्वाबस मज तम मे
They have seen blood spilled all over in their neighborhood. They have seen television pictures. They have heard stories of their loved ones, their relations getting brutally killed. And the only way this finds expression is in their behavioral problem, is in their emotional problem, is in their poor intellectual development, is in their poor physical growth. All this is attributable to the violence which our children have seen not only within their homes but on the roadside and in relation to their neighbors, friends and class fellows.
As we all know that India is a member of the United Nations. It has signed many treaties on human rights. I mean, there's a law which is there at the international level as far as protection of children is concerned. But sadly, there is no implementation of that law in the real context in Kashmir. We demand that a special rapporteur should be appointed vis-a-vis, upholding these children's rights. Maybe the United Nations can take a lead in it, and they can try to see that there should be no violations of human rights, especially vis-a-vis children.
और वह मिनट पाकि गो दमाग मे दपी पे जहाज तोरे सारी बह गयस ननवार तो मे जहाज पे ये बह तत वाचस मे वुचम पन बच्चे पता मे रोद नाचन गाश मे तुलिम थोद रट पन्न सीना सत मगर तती मोमुत जिंदे दपक यह बचाओ अपील कर मे बचाओ यह बच तस तुलक नुक सवुर शे बच आपून सत गुजरिया बस वन तह प्यारान मे शुर वन मगर तम वनी मे सत अचन गाश तमो वद Meu juro que eu vou just dar mais tempo de vir só com life. Jesus, manda o cotogol. Ah, meu cabro.
Children are facing the brunt of this conflict and have lost their childhood, their innocence, and they will continue to be victimized until the peaceful resolution of Kashmir issue. Perhaps this is the time to look into this burning issue and take the younger generation out from the wrath of this deadly conflict.